A few years ago, I stood by a little river, watched the water flow so calm, so endless, and I wondered, what happens when our time here ends? My grandma used to talk about pearly gates in heaven. My old friend believed our souls come back, like spring winds after winter. Today, I'm inviting you to join me on a journey through forests of faith, mountains of hope, rivers of questions as old as time. Do all religions believe in an afterlife? Over the next 60 minutes, we'll listen to whispers from Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and beyond, like tales told around a campfire. This isn't just a video. It's a moment to pause, to reflect, to find a spark of comfort or a new way to see what lies ahead. Let the beauty of nature guide us. Come with me into this story. Are you ready? Let me tell you about a moment that changed how I see things. A few summers back, I sat with my uncle at his old cabin. He was in his 60s, staring at the stars. He turned to me and said, "I've lived a good life, but I keep wondering what's waiting for me out there." His voice was steady, but his eyes held questions. Questions we all carry as the years pile up. That's why we're here today. This isn't just about afterlife beliefs. It's about us, about the moments when we pause and think, what does it all mean at 45, 55, 65, or beyond? Life starts to feel like a book. Some chapters are written, others are still blank, and we wonder, what's the final page? I remember my mom, always so practical, tucking me in as a kid. She'd say, "Live well, and whatever comes next will take care of itself." But now, having lost her, I think about her words. Was she picturing heaven, a new beginning, or just peace? Those questions don't just sit in our heads. They shape how we love, how we forgive, how we face each day. This journey we're on together, it's not about finding one right answer. It's about listening to stories from faiths across the world, each one like a thread in a tapestry. Christianity with its golden gates, Buddhism with its quiet release, Islam with its gardens of eternity. They're different, sure, but they all speak to something deep inside us, a hope, a fear, a longing to know we're part of something bigger. You might be someone who goes to church every Sunday, or maybe you've drifted from that. Maybe you've sat at a friend's table hearing their beliefs and thought, that's beautiful. But is it mine? At our age, we've seen enough to know life's messy. We've lost people, faced hard days, and yet we keep asking, what's next? That question isn't just curiosity, it's courage. It's what makes us human. So, as we dive into these stories, I want you to think about your own. What do you hope for when you look at the stars? What comforts you when life feels heavy? This video is a chance to explore, to feel connected, to maybe find a piece of wisdom that lights your path. We're not here to judge or debate. We're here to listen, to wonder, to share a quiet moment together. So, let's keep going. Let's hear what these ancient stories have to tell us. You with me? Let's start our journey with a story close to home. Growing up, I'd sit on my grandma's porch, the summer air thick with honeysuckle. She'd tell me about heaven, a place with golden streets, no pain, no tears. Her hands, worn from years of work, would clasp mine. Her eyes sparkled, like she could already see those gates of pearl. That's what Christianity offers to so many of us. A promise, a home with God. For Christians, heaven is the heart of the afterlife. It's where you go if you've walked with Jesus, lived by his teachings, loved your neighbor. It's not just a reward, it's a reunion with God, with those you've lost. I think of my mom, gone now for 10 years. The idea she's in a place of joy, waiting for me, It's a comfort, a warmth in the chest. The Bible paints heaven vividly, streets of gold, a city of light, no more sickness, no more grief. Can you imagine that a place where every hurt is healed? But it's not the same for every Christian. Some see heaven as a literal city, others a state of being, pure closeness to God. My old pastor used to say, heaven's not about the gold, it's about the presence. I like that. It's less about mansions in the sky, more about peace, about love that never fades. And yet, I've met folks who picture it differently. My cousin, a Baptist, swears he'll be fishing with Jesus by a crystal river. That's what makes these stories so personal. They fit who we are. I remember a church picnic years ago. An elderly woman, Miss Clara, shared her story. She'd lost her husband in the war. For years, she felt hollow. Then she found faith. The hope of heaven gave her a reason to keep going, to smile again. She said, I know I'll see him. We'll dance under those heavenly stars. Her words stuck with me. They weren't just theology, they were life. Hope that carries you through. What about you? When you hear heaven, what comes to mind? Is it a place, a feeling? Maybe it's your mom's laugh, echoing in a place without sorrow. Or maybe it's just a quiet wish, something to hold on to. Christianity says heaven is real, a gift for those who believe. As we sit here, let's think about that. A promise of home. It's a story that's carried millions, and it's just the beginning. Let's keep going. There's more to this faith. Now, let's turn to a harder part of the story. Hell. It's not easy to talk about. I remember being a kid, wide-eyed in Sunday school. The teacher spoke of fire, of darkness, a place where God wasn't. It scared me, made me want to be good. But as I grew older, I saw it differently. My dad, a quiet man of faith, put it this way: hell's not about God punishing. It's about what we choose. That stuck with me. In Christianity, hell is real. It's the flip side of heaven, a place for those who turn away, who reject God's love. The Bible describes it vividly: a lake of fire, weeping and gnashing of teeth. It's heavy stuff. I've sat with friends who wrestle with this. How can a loving God allow such a place? It's a fair question, one I've asked too. My pastor once said, God doesn't send us to hell. We walk there ourselves. It's about free will, choosing selfishness over love, hate over forgiveness. But not all Christians see hell the same way. Some believe it's eternal torment, a never-ending punishment. Others, especially in progressive churches, see it differently. Maybe it's temporary, a refining fire, or maybe it's symbolic, a way to describe life without God. I had a friend, a Unitarian, who thought hell was here on earth. The pain we create when we hurt each other. That made me think, could hell be both a warning for now and a reality later? I'll never forget a conversation with my uncle. He was a tough guy, a Vietnam vet, not big on church, but one night he opened up, said he'd seen hell in the war, the fear, the loss. He didn't want that for eternity, so he started praying, reading the Bible. It wasn't fear driving him, it was hope, a hope to choose something better. That's what the story of hell does for many. It's a wake-up call, a chance to turn around. What do you think? Does hell feel like a real place to you, or is it a metaphor, a way to make sense of justice? I don't have all the answers, but I know this. The story of hell pushes us to look at our lives, to ask, what am I choosing? It's not about fear. It's about living with purpose, with love. Let's hold that thought. There's one more piece to this story. Let's end this chapter with the heartbeat of Christianity: resurrection. It's not just about heaven or hell. It's about something bigger. I remember my mom's funeral. The preacher stood by her casket. He said, "This isn't the end. One day, she'll rise." Those words hit me. They weren't just comfort. They were a promise, a hope that death doesn't win. Christians believe in the resurrection, not just Jesus rising from the tomb, but all of us. One day, they say, Jesus will return. The dead will rise, body and soul made new. It's not a ghost floating in the clouds. It's you, whole, restored. The Bible says we'll have glorified bodies, no more aches, no more tears. I think of my grandpa, his hands crippled by arthritis. The idea he'll hold a fishing rod again, pain-free. It's beautiful. This belief shapes everything. It's why Christians talk about eternal life, not just surviving death, but thriving forever. I met a woman at church, Sarah, who lost her daughter to cancer. She told me the resurrection keeps her going. "I'll hug her again," she said, "not just in spirit, in the flesh." Her faith wasn't abstract. It was raw, real. It carried her through grief. But there's debate here too. Some Christians take it literally, a physical rising. Others see it spiritually, a transformation of the soul. Catholics add purgatory, a place to prepare for heaven. I used to wonder about these details, but then I talked to an old friend, a theologian. He said, the resurrection isn't about the how, it's about the why. It's God saying, "I'm not done with you." That shifted something in me. It's hope, pure and simple. So let's pause here. What does resurrection mean to you? Do you picture rising from the grave, or is it something else? A new beginning, a second chance. This story, it's carried Christians for 2,000 years. It's a light in the dark, a reminder that love wins, that life goes on. As we move to the next faith, carry this with you, a promise of something more. You still with me? Let's keep going. Let's step into a new story. A few years back, I sat with my neighbor, Amina, over tea. Her home smelled of cardamom. She shared a memory. As a girl, she'd listened to her father describe Jannah, paradise, a garden with rivers of milk and honey, trees heavy with fruit, a place where every worry melts away. Amina's face lit up, like she could feel the breeze of that garden. That's Islam's promise, Jannah, a home of eternal joy. For Muslims, Jannah is the ultimate hope. It's where you go if you've lived righteously, followed Allah's guidance, prayed, gave to the poor, loved fiercely. The Quran paints it so vividly: crystal streams, silk robes, endless feasts with those you cherish. It's not just a place, it's a feeling, complete peace, reunion with family, with God. I think of Amina's father, gone now. She believes he's there, laughing under a shady tree. That thought holds her heart. But Jannah isn't one size fits all. The Quran says it has levels. The more good you do, the higher you rise. My friend Hassan, a cab driver, told me he imagines Jannah like a mountain. Everyone finds their place, some closer to the peak, others in the lush valleys. He says it motivates him to be kind, to forgive, even when life's tough. I love that. It's not about outshining others. It's about your own climb, your own heart. I remember a conversation at a community center. An imam spoke about Jannah. He said it's not just for the perfect. Allah's mercy is vast. Even small acts, a smile, a meal shared can open its gates. That stuck with me. It's hope for all of us, imperfect as we are. I've thought about my own life, the times I've fallen short. Could a kind word I gave years ago ripple into eternity? What about you? When you hear of Jannah, what stirs in you? Do you picture a garden, a reunion with someone you've lost? Or maybe just peace, deep and unbroken? Islam says Jannah is real, a gift for those who strive. Let's hold that image, a garden waiting. It's a beautiful story. But there's another side to this faith. Let's keep walking. Now, let's turn to a heavier chapter. Jahannam, hell in Islam. It's not a story we linger on, but it's part of the truth. I recall a late-night talk with my friend Omar. We were at a diner, coffee gone cold. He spoke of Jahannam with a quiet weight, a place of fire, of regret, where those who reject Allah face justice. His voice wasn't harsh, just honest, like he was sharing a hard lesson. In Islam, Jahannam is real. It's for those who turn away, who harm others, ignore the poor. The Quran describes it starkly: blazing flames, bitter food, a place where hearts break under the weight of choices. It's not meant to scare for the sake of fear. It's a warning, a call to wake up. Omar put it this way: Jahannam reminds us life matters. Every choice matters. That hit me. It's not about God being cruel. It's about accountability. But there's nuance here. Some Muslims believe Jahannam is eternal for the worst sinners. Others say it's temporary for some, a place to purify. Allah's mercy can reach even there. I met a teacher, Fatima, who explained this. She said, Allah doesn't want us to suffer. He wants us to grow. That shifted my view. Jahannam isn't just punishment, it's a mirror, showing us the cost of turning from love, from truth. I'll never forget a story Amina shared. Her cousin strayed for years, hurt his family, ignored his faith, but on his deathbed, he wept, asked for forgiveness. Amina believes Allah heard him, that Jahannam might not claim him forever. That's the hope in Islam. Mercy is always possible. It makes you think about second chances, about the people we've judged. What do you feel when you hear about Jahannam? Is it a place of justice, a warning to live better, or something else? I don't have all the answers. But this story pushes us to look at our lives, to ask, am I living with care? It's a hard truth, but it's also a gift, a chance to choose wisely. Let's carry that forward. One more piece to explore. Let's end with the climax of this story, the Day of Judgment. It's the bridge between Jannah and Jahannam. I remember sitting with Hassan, the cab driver, at a park. He described it like a scene from a dream. The world ends. Everyone stands before Allah. Every deed, big or small, laid bare. His eyes were wide, not with fear, with awe, like he could feel the weight of that moment. In Islam, the Day of Judgment is central. It's when your life is measured. The Quran says your deeds are weighed on a scale, good on one side, bad on the other. If the good outweighs, Jannah awaits. If not, Jahannam looms. But it's not cold math. Allah sees your heart, your intentions. I love that. It's not just what you did, it's why you did it. Hassan told me a story from his childhood. His mother taught him to give, even a coin, to a stranger. She said, on the Day of Judgment, that coin might tip the scale. That stayed with him. He lives generously now, not out of fear, out of hope. It makes me think of my own small acts. A kind word, a moment of patience. Could they matter that much? But there's mercy here, too. The Quran speaks of intercession. Prophets, angels, even the faithful can plead for others. I heard an imam say, no one stands alone on that day. That's powerful. It's community, even in judgment. I think of my own life, the people I've loved. Could we stand together, lifting each other up? So, let's pause. What does the Day of Judgment mean to you? Do you imagine a scale, a moment of truth, or maybe a chance to make things right? This story, it's about more than reward or punishment. It's about living with purpose, knowing every moment counts. Islam's vision of the afterlife is vivid. Gardens, fire, a day of reckoning. It's a call to be better, to love more. You still with me? Let's move to the next story. Let's step into a quieter story. A few years ago, I sat at a Passover dinner with my friend Rachel's family. The table was alive with laughter, stories of ancestors, songs of freedom. Rachel's grandfather, a man with kind eyes, leaned over to me. He said, "Life is for living. Do good now. The rest is in God's hands." His words carried weight, like they'd been polished by years of wisdom. That's the heart of Judaism. It's not about chasing the afterlife. It's about this life, right here, right now. In Judaism, the afterlife isn't the main focus. Unlike Christianity or Islam, with their vivid heavens and hells, Judaism keeps things mysterious. The Torah, the sacred text, doesn't spell out what comes next. It talks about living ethically, following God's commandments, being a light to others. I remember asking Rachel about this. She smiled, said, "We're not supposed to obsess over what's beyond. We're supposed to make this world better." That struck me. It's practical, grounded, like a call to roll up your sleeves. But that doesn't mean there's no afterlife. Some Jewish traditions speak of Olam Haba, the world to come, a time when the righteous live in God's presence. It's not a city of gold or a garden. It's vague, more like a hope, a whisper of eternity. I met a rabbi once at a synagogue. He described Olam Haba as a garden of the soul, not a place, but a state, where you're close to God, close to truth. I liked that. It's less about reward, more about connection. I'll never forget a story Rachel shared. Her grandmother, a Holocaust survivor, used to say, "Every good deed is a brick in God's world." She didn't talk about heaven or punishment. She talked about legacy, about building something lasting. That's what Judaism emphasizes. Your actions ripple through your family, your community, maybe even into eternity. It makes you think about the mark you're leaving, about the people you've touched. What about you? When you think of living well, what comes to mind? Is it helping a neighbor, teaching your grandkids, or maybe just being kind when it's hard? Judaism says that's enough. Live with purpose now. Trust God with the rest. It's a humble story, one that feels like a warm hand on your shoulder. Let's hold that thought. There's more to explore in this faith. Now, let's wander into a stranger part of the story, Sheol. It's not a word you hear often. I first learned about it from an old friend, David, over coffee. He was Jewish, a history buff, loved digging into ancient texts. He said, "Sheol's not like hell. It's more like a pause." His eyes lit up, like he was sharing a secret. I leaned in, wanted to understand. Sheol, he explained, is where souls go after death, not for punishment, just to rest. In early Jewish thought, Sheol was the destination for everyone, good or bad, rich or poor. The Hebrew Bible describes it as a shadowy place, a land of silence, no fire, no torment, just stillness, like falling into a deep sleep. David put it this way, "It's where the soul catches its breath." I found that beautiful, not scary, not final, just a moment of quiet, a waiting room for the soul. But Sheol's not the whole story. Over time, Jewish ideas evolved. By the time of the Talmud, some rabbis spoke of a divide. The righteous might rest in peace. The wicked might face unease, not flames, but regret. I remember a talk at a Jewish community center. A scholar said, "Sheol's not about justice. It's about mystery." That stuck with me. Judaism doesn't give clear answers. It leaves room for wonder, for questions. I think of my own losses, my dad, gone too soon. I like to imagine him in a place like Sheol, not suffering, just resting, waiting for whatever God has planned. It's comforting, less about judgment, more about trust. David told me a story about his aunt. She'd light a candle every Sabbath, say a prayer for those in Sheol, not out of fear, out of love, to keep their memory alive. That's Judaism, honoring the past while living now. What do you think of Sheol? Does it feel like a strange idea, or maybe a gentle one? A place to rest before the next chapter? I don't know what's true, but I know this. Sheol's story is a reminder. Life's a mystery, and that's okay. It's okay to not have all the answers. Let's keep going. One more piece to this puzzle. Let's end with a story of hope. I was at a friend's bar mitzvah years ago. The room buzzed with joy. A rabbi stood up, spoke about the world to come, not as a promise, but as a possibility. He said, "We don't know what it looks like, but we know it's good, because God is good." His voice was steady, full of trust. It felt like a light in the dark. That's Judaism's vision of the afterlife. Not a map, but a horizon. Olam haba, the world to come, is central to many Jewish beliefs. It's a time when the world is renewed. The righteous rise, live in God's light. The Talmud hints at it, a place of study, of joy, of closeness to the divine. But it's vague, on purpose. I asked Rachel about this. She laughed, said, "Judaism doesn't spoon-feed you. It makes you think." I love that. It's not about certainty. It's about faith, about imagining something better. I met an old man, Mr. Cohen, at a deli. He was in his 80s, eyes bright with stories. He told me about his wife, gone for decades. He believed in Olam Haba, not as a guarantee, but as a hope. "Maybe I'll see her again," he said. "Maybe we'll sit and talk, like old times." His smile was soft, not desperate, just warm. That's what this belief offers, a spark of possibility. Judaism's afterlife is humble. It doesn't shout, it whispers. Live well, love deeply, trust God. I think of my own life, the times I've tried to do right. Could they lead to something eternal? I don't know. But I like the idea, a world renewed, a chance to keep learning, growing. So, let's pause here. What does the world to come mean to you? Do you hope for a new beginning, or maybe just a quiet trust that things work out? This story, it's different from others, less certain, more open. It asks us to live with questions, to find meaning in the mystery. You still with me? Let's move to the next faith. Let's weave a new story. Years ago, I met Priya at a local festival. Colors everywhere, music in the air. She was lighting a small lamp, her hands steady. I asked what it meant. She smiled, said, "It's for my father. He's gone, but he'll come back. A new life, a new lesson." Her words opened a door. Hinduism, a faith where death isn't the end. It's a turn in the cycle. In Hinduism, life is a wheel, reincarnation. When you die, your soul is reborn into a new body, a new story. What kind depends on your karma, the sum of your deeds. Good actions lead to a better life. Cruel ones, a harder one. I think of Priya's father. Was he a teacher in his next life? A child learning to love? It's like a cosmic classroom, each life a chance to grow. I remember sitting with Priya later. She explained karma not as punishment, but as balance. If I hurt someone, she said, I might face pain later. To understand, that hit me. It's not about fear, it's about responsibility. Every choice shapes your path. I thought of my own mistakes. Could they ripple into another life? Could my kindness, too? At the festival, an elder spoke. He said, "Reincarnation gives hope. No one is lost forever. Even the worst can change. Start anew." I met a man, Raj, who'd lost his son. He believed his boy was out there, living, learning. That belief kept him strong. Not grieving, but hoping. It's a powerful idea. Life doesn't end. It evolves. What about you? Can you imagine coming back? Maybe as someone new with lessons to learn. Or does it feel too strange? Hinduism's story is vast, a cycle that stretches beyond one lifetime. It asks us to live thoughtfully, to know our actions matter. Let's hold that image, a wheel turning. There's more to this faith. Now, let's climb higher. Moksha, the ultimate goal in Hinduism. I recall a quiet moment with Priya's aunt, Lakshmi. We sat under a tree. She spoke of moksha like a poet. It's freedom, she said, like a river meeting the ocean. Her voice was soft, full of peace. Moksha isn't a place, it's liberation, the end of the cycle of rebirth. In Hinduism, life's wheel keeps turning, but moksha stops it. Your soul merges with the divine. No more birth, no more death, just oneness. The Bhagavad Gita describes it, a state beyond desire, beyond pain. I asked Lakshmi how you get there. She laughed. Live with love, seek truth, let go. It sounded simple, but deep, like a lifelong journey. I met a teacher, Anil, at a temple. He explained the paths to moksha, devotion, knowledge, selfless work, each a road to the same peak. He said, it's not about escaping life, it's about transcending it. That stuck with me. I thought of my own struggles. Could letting go of anger bring me closer to peace? Could helping others do the same? Lakshmi shared a story. Her grandfather spent his life serving others. When he died, the family believed he'd reached moksha, freed, not because he was perfect, but because he lived with purpose. That's the beauty of this story. Moksha is open to everyone. It's not a prize. It's a possibility, a chance to become whole. What does moksha mean to you? Do you long for freedom from worry, from regret, or maybe just a sense of oneness? This story challenges us to live not just for today, but for eternity, to seek something greater. Let's carry that thought. One more piece to explore. Let's end with the rhythm of Hinduism. I was at a wedding once. Drums echoed. Dancers moved like flames. Priya leaned over, said, "Life's a dance. Keep moving toward the divine." Her words painted a picture. Hinduism sees life as sacred, a journey toward eternity. Reincarnation and moksha aren't just beliefs. They're a call to dance well. The Vedas, ancient texts, speak of this. Life is divine play. Every moment a step. Karma guides your path. Moksha is the final bow. I met an artist, Sanjay, who saw it this way. He painted gods and mortals, said, each life is a brushstroke. Moksha is the masterpiece. I loved that. It's not about fear. It's about creating something beautiful. Sanjay told me about his mother. She'd sing hymns every dawn. When she passed, he felt her soul was free, maybe in moksha, maybe in a new life. Either way, her love lived on. That's what Hinduism offers, a story of continuity, of growth. I think of my own family. Could my actions today honor them, shape my tomorrow? This faith is vast. It embraces questions, invites us to live with care, to seek truth. I wonder about my own dance. Am I moving with love, with purpose? Hinduism says we're all part of something grand, a cosmic story. So, let's pause. What's your dance? Do you feel part of a bigger story, or maybe you're still finding your steps? This tale, it's about growth, about freedom, about living fully. You still with me? Let's move to the next chapter. Let's enter a gentler story. I met a monk, Tenzin, at a retreat. His smile was calm, like a still lake. He spoke of life's pain. We suffer, he said, but we can be free. His words were simple, yet heavy. Buddhism begins here, with suffering and the hope of release. In Buddhism, life is a cycle, like Hinduism. It believes in rebirth. Your actions, your karma, shape your next life. But there's a twist. Life is full of suffering, desire, loss, change. Tenzin explained it. We crave what fades. That's why we hurt. I thought of my own life, chasing things, money, approval, only to feel empty. He was right. I remember a quiet evening with Tenzin. He shared a story. As a boy, he lost his dog, cried for weeks. His teacher said, "Pain comes from holding on. Let go." It wasn't cold, it was truth. Buddhism teaches that suffering is universal, but it's not the end. There's a path, a way to peace. I met a woman, Lisa, at the retreat. She'd faced divorce, illness, despair. Buddhism gave her tools, meditation, compassion. She said, "I'm not free yet, but I'm lighter." That moved me. It's not about perfection, it's about progress, about facing pain with courage. What about you? Do you feel life's weight, moments of loss or longing? Buddhism sees that. It says suffering is real, but so is hope. It's a story of honesty, of looking at life clearly. Let's hold that. There's more to this path. Now, let's chase a deeper truth, nirvana. I sat with Tenzin one morning. Mist hung low. He spoke of nirvana, not a place, a state. It's like blowing out a candle. He said, "The flame is gone, but it's free." His words were a puzzle. Beautiful, hard to grasp. Nirvana is Buddhism's heart, the end of suffering. Nirvana means liberation. No more rebirth, no more desire, just peace. The Buddha described it, a state beyond words, beyond want. I asked Tenzin how you reach it. He smiled. Live mindfully, love fully, let go. It's the Noble Eightfold Path. Right thoughts, right actions, right life. Simple, but not easy. I met a teacher, Karen, who'd studied Buddhism for years. She said nirvana isn't far away. It's in small moments, a kind word, a quiet breath. She told me about her father. He died angry, clinging to grudges. She meditated for him, hoped he'd find peace. That's nirvana's promise, freedom for all, even the broken. Karen shared a story. She once sat by a river, watched it flow, realized her worries were like ripples, temporary. Letting them go felt like nirvana, not forever, but for a moment. I tried it myself, sat still, breathed, felt lighter. Could that be a glimpse of something greater? What does nirvana mean to you? A moment of peace or something bigger? A life without chains? This story asks us to look inward, to release what holds us back, to find calm in the storm. Let's carry that light. One more step to take. Let's end with the journey itself. I was at a Buddhist center once. Lanterns glowed. A teacher spoke. Buddhism isn't about escaping life, she said. It's about living it fully. Her voice was steady, full of warmth. That's the beauty of this faith. It's not about waiting for nirvana. It's about walking toward it. Now, the path is practical. Meditation, mindfulness, compassion. The Buddha taught it. Be present, see clearly, love deeply. I met a man, John, who'd lost his job, his pride. He started meditating, not to run from pain, but to face it. He said, "I'm not there yet, but I'm freer." That's the story. Freedom in small steps. John told me about his sister. She'd passed young. He used to carry guilt, thought he could have saved her. Buddhism taught him to let go. to honor her with kindness. He volunteers now, helps others, says it's his path to nirvana. I think of my own regrets. Could I walk that path? Could you? This faith is gentle. It doesn't demand. It invites. Live with awareness, with love. I wonder about my own steps. Am I present? Am I kind? Buddhism says every moment is a chance to grow, to be free. So, let's pause. What's your path? A moment of stillness, a kind act, or maybe just hope for peace. This story is about freedom, about ending suffering, about living well. You still with me? Let's explore the next tale. Let's weave a wider story. I once sat with a Native American elder, Mary, at a community fire. The flames danced. She spoke of her grandfather. He's not gone, she said. He's in the wind, guiding us. Her voice was soft, full of love. Indigenous traditions, like hers, see the afterlife differently. Not a faraway place, but a presence, close, always. Many Native American tribes believe in a spirit world, where ancestors live, watch over the living. It's not about reward or punishment. It's about connection to the land, to family. Mary explained, when we die, we join the spirits. We help our people. I thought of my own family. Could they be near watching? It's a comforting idea. I met a man, Thomas, from a Cherokee community. He shared a story. His aunt passed. At her funeral, they danced, sang, not to mourn, to honor her spirit. He believed she was there, part of the circle. That's the beauty of these traditions. Death doesn't break the bond. It changes it. What about you? Can you imagine your loved ones as spirits guiding you, or does it feel distant? These stories remind us we're part of something bigger, a web of life, of love. Let's hold that. There's more to hear. Now, let's travel further. I met a woman, Grace, at a cultural fair. She was from a Yoruba community. Her smile was bright. She spoke of ancestors. They're with us, she said, in every step. Her words carried weight. African traditional religions see the afterlife as a bridge between the living and the dead. In many African faiths, death isn't the end. You become an ancestor, a guardian. Grace explained, ancestors advise, protect, expect respect. Families honor them with offerings, prayers. It's not worship, it's love. I thought of my own rituals, lighting a candle for my mom. Could that be the same, a way to stay connected? Grace shared a story. Her father passed. At his memorial, they poured water on the ground, a sign of his journey. She believed he was watching, guiding her children. That gave her peace, not fear, but duty. To live well, to make him proud. It's a powerful idea. Death as partnership, not separation. What does this mean to you? Do you feel your ancestors near, or maybe it's a new idea? This story is about continuity, about family across time. It asks us to honor the past, to live for the future. Let's keep listening. One more perspective. Let's end with a different story. I met my friend Mark at a coffee shop. He's an atheist. No belief in an afterlife. He leaned back, said, "This life's all we've got, so make it count." His voice was firm, not cold, just clear. Atheism offers a unique view. No heaven, no rebirth, just now. Mark explained, without an afterlife. Every moment matters, every laugh, every tear. He lost his brother years ago. Doesn't believe he's anywhere, but lives to honor him, through kindness, through joy. I admired that. It's not about eternity, it's about legacy, about the mark you leave. I thought of my own life. If this is all there is, would I live differently? Maybe I'd hug tighter, forgive faster, Mark says that's the point. Atheism isn't empty. It's full of purpose, full of now. So, let's pause. What does this mean to you? Do you find meaning in the present, or do you hope for more? This story challenges us to live fully, to love deeply, right now. You still with me? Let's reflect together. Let's sit together for a moment. This journey's been long. I've been thinking about my dad. He passed when I was young, too young. I used to lie awake, wondering where he was. Was he in heaven reborn, or just gone? These stories we've heard, they've stirred that old ache, but they've also brought light. Each faith offers something. Christianity's promise of reunion, Islam's call to accountability, Judaism's quiet trust, Hinduism's endless cycle, Buddhism's path to peace, even atheism's bold now. They're different, but they're all human. They're us, trying to make sense of loss, of love, of what comes next. I remember my mom's last days. She wasn't afraid. She said, "I'll be okay, wherever I go." Her faith was simple, not tied to one story, just trust. That's what these tales do. They give us ways to face the dark, to hold on to hope. I've lost friends too. Each loss a cut, but each story a stitch. What about you? Who have you lost? What questions keep you up? Maybe it's a parent, a spouse, a child. These stories aren't answers. They're companions. They walk with us. Help us carry the weight. Let's hold that close. There's more to say. Now, let's dig deeper. I've been asking myself, what do I believe after all these stories? I'm still not sure, but I'm okay with that. These faiths, they don't demand certainty. They invite wonder. I think of my friend Sarah. She lost her sister, found comfort in Buddhism, but also in her childhood church. She mixes stories, makes her own. That's what this journey's about. Finding meaning. Not one truth, but your truth. Christianity's heaven gives hope. Islam's judgment calls for justice. Judaism's mystery frees us to live. Hinduism's cycle offers growth. Buddhism's nirvana promises peace. Atheism demands presence. They're like colors. You can paint with one, or all. I met an old man, Tom, at a park. He was reading, looked up, said, "I don't know what's next, but I know what's now. Love." His eyes were clear, full of life. That's the thread in every story. Love, for God, for others, for the world. It's what lasts, what matters. What's your truth? Do you lean toward one story or weave them together? Maybe you're still searching. That's okay. This journey's taught me. The search itself is sacred. It's what keeps us alive, curious, connected. Let's keep going. One last thought. Let's end here, together. I've been thinking about my kids, what I'll leave them. Not money, not things, but hope. These stories, they're my gift. To them, to you. They're lights, each one different, but each one bright. They show us we're not alone, that our questions are ancient, that our hearts are shared. I imagine sitting with you, sharing coffee, talking about what comes next. Maybe you see heaven, or nirvana, or nothing at all. Whatever it is, it's yours, your story, your hope. I think of my dad again, wherever he is. I hope he's proud. I hope he knows I'm trying to live well, to love deeply. These stories ask us to do that, to live with purpose, to cherish every moment, to hold each other close. I don't have all the answers, never will, but I have this, a sense of wonder, a belief that something connects us, something bigger. So, let's pause. What's your light? What hope do you carry? What story speaks to your heart? This journey's been a gift, a chance to wonder, to feel, to grow. You still with me? Let's close this chapter. Here we are, the end of our story, or maybe the start of a new one. I've loved this time with you. It's felt like sitting by a fire, sharing tales, asking big questions. We've traveled far, from heaven's gates to nirvana's peace, from ancestors to the bold now of atheism, each story a window, each one a mirror. I think of my grandma, her porch, her stories. She'd be smiling now, knowing we're asking these questions together. That's what this has been, a togetherness, a chance to see the world through others' eyes, to feel our shared humanity. I hope you found something here, a spark of comfort, a new thought, a reason to keep wondering. I remember a friend, Linda. She watched a video like this, said it changed her, not her beliefs, but her heart. She called her brother, forgave him, said, "Life's too short." That's the power of these stories. They don't just teach, they move us to love more, to live better. What about you? Has this journey stirred something, a memory, a hope, maybe a call to reach out? These stories are alive. They grow when we share them. Let's keep them going. There's one last step. Let's talk about what's next. These stories, they're not meant to stay here. They're meant to travel. I think of my neighbor, Joe. He heard about reincarnation, didn't believe it, but it made him think. He started volunteering, said, "If life's a cycle, I want to leave good behind." That's the gift. These tales change us, even if we don't agree. I hope you'll carry them with you. Maybe share them with a friend, a child, a stranger. Tell them about Jana's gardens, or Sheol's quiet, or the bold now of atheism. Let these stories spark new conversations, new connections. That's how we keep them alive, how we keep growing. I think of my own life, the people I've lost, the ones still here. These stories remind me to cherish them, to live with kindness, to ask big questions. I hope they do the same for you. Maybe you'll sit with someone tonight, share what you've learned, or just listen. That's enough. That's everything. What will you do with these stories? Will you share them, live them, or maybe just hold them close? They're yours now, a part of your journey. Let's make them matter. Let's make them light. One last thing to do. Here's my final thought. Thank you for walking this path with me, for listening, for wondering. You've made this special. I'd love to hear from you. What story touched you? What hope do you carry? Share it in the comments. Let's keep this fire burning. Let's keep these stories alive. If this journey meant something, give it a thumbs up. Pass it to someone who'd love it, a friend, a family member, someone asking the same questions. And if you want more stories like this, hit subscribe. We'll explore more together. I'll leave you with this. Keep asking, keep loving, keep living. Whatever comes next, you're not alone. These stories, they connect us across time, across hearts. I'll see you soon. Take care.